Sup, my name is Ryu for TheCouncilNetwork. It's been a while. We'll talk about that at the very end of this video. Welcome to the Doctor Strange review. I actually got to see this last night, on Sunday night, because I injured my leg, but again, we'll get to that at the end of the video. I must say, Doctor Strange is an origin story that was honestly fantastic. There's no other way to put it. It was a surprise in the Marvel Universe. Everyone was expecting this movie to fail, but it succeeded in every which way possible, setting the multiverse up without, of course, overcomplicating things for the MCU. And this is huge moving forward just from the multiverse. We also got to see Dormammu, which is insane because the first time I got to see him was when I was like 7 in the Spider-Man 1996 cartoon, and Spider-Man and Teen War Doctor Strange, and that's why I was so excited for this. We also got to be introduced to, of course, Baron Mordo, which he wasn't evil, the Ancient One. Cast in this movie is fantastic, and I'm going to just not use their actual names, but the character names, because the movie was just that damn good. Everyone in their roles was fantastic. Also, the Time Stone being in the Eye of Agamotto, if I say that incorrectly, just forgive me. But, jeez! I did not expect that, and I love that. We'll talk about post-credit scenes, and of course, moving forward, if you haven't seen anything, from this movie, do yourself a favor, go see it before listening to this review. One of my main concerns from this movie is the Ancient One. Going into it, not actually coming out from it. So, Tilda Swinton basically was the one who played the Ancient One. I believe she shaved her head for the role. Congrats. You pulled off this role, made me believe that this whole magical aspect of things, finding from the soul inward out, to understand past the laws of basically everything that we've been taught is insane. I love how the MCU expands, and I do have to say, before Doctor Strange gets to the Ancient One, there is something I want to basically break down, discuss that I don't really think too many people are discussing. So he's talking about the case files, and obviously one of them is War Machine, and about how anyone can do it. This guy is like the greatest surgeon in the world, and he's also one pretentious motherfucking dick of an asshole. And of course, throughout the movie, that changes as he gets to realize, quickly, how much he's done wrong. The one thing I do have to say before we go any further, the pacing of the movie is fantastic. The 2 hours did not feel like 2 hours. There was nothing that really slowed down. Everything was a good pace. Nothing too fast, nothing over-explained. Just everything felt right. If I had any complaints, I'll definitely bring them up, but at the moment, none that I can think of. It was probably my favorite MCU movie to date, and that's kind of scary when it comes to origin stories, because that's really scary, because I'm really fond of that original Iron Man. I'm really fond of the Thor movie, because there's so much world building going into those two. Now, to the point that I was making, when Doctor Strange is about to have his accident in the car that ruins his hands so he cannot do, surgery no more. This guy's like the best surgeon in the world. Before we get to that point, he's in his, whatever freaking fancy-dancy car he was in. Not to sound that way. But he hears the case of a 22-year-old female who had something in her head and was struck by lightning. I am, want to say 85% sure that may be Captain Marvel. Basically, Brie Larson's character that we'll be seeing in a few years. And the reason I bring this up is because I don't think they're just going to have that kind of line in there and just chuck it to the side and be like, oh, it means nothing, we just threw it in there for, just for nothing. Just for fluff. Because you have the War Machine mentioned, and you can easily slide that in there without anyone expecting it, and then go back to watch it and be like, oh shit, that's who they were talking about. And I don't think they're going to go with the typical storyline that they have for Captain Marvel and how she gets her powers. I think they're going a much different route, and that's just my personal opinion, and I wanted to really bring it up. The Ancient One, of course, is Doctor Strange meets the Ancient One after his accident and 7 surgeries. Damn. His hands are ruined at this point, and he cannot perform surgery. His hands are constantly shaking, and he's looking for a way to heal. He's tried everything. He's gone to this guy that supposedly can walk again, and doesn't realize that it's magic, and tries to break down why this guy's able to walk again, and doesn't want to believe in the magic. But of course, the Ancient One is able to basically put him in astral projection form, and of course the mirror dimension, and basically show him how incorrect he is and how little he knows, so that way he'll start learning. And of course, we get to see Doctor Strange at his best, egotistical. He gets to show the Ancient One he's not just going to listen to what she says, and he starts learning on his own. This plays an important role because, of course, the villain of the movie, who's basically offering his life to Dormammu, is, just sitting there like, I'm going to attack these 3 major places, London, Hong Kong, and New York, that basically hold a barrier over the Earth to protect it from multi-dimensional beings that want to invade us. And this, again, also introduces us to multi-dimensional travel. In short, basically from point A to point B. Think Goku's instant transmission without really having to think about it, and using magic. Think Harry Potter. It's the easiest way to describe that to you. And this is going to play a role for Infinity War, in my opinion, and I think it's going to be fucking great moving forward. And we get to find out towards the end of the movie that the Ancient One is using the magic from the Dark Worlds, or the Dark Universe, there we go, the Dark Universe, to basically keep herself alive because she's the Ancient One. And Baron Mordo at this point, realizes that Doctor Strange wasn't lying, and basically goes nuts. He starts losing his mind after helping Doctor Strange take over everything, of course, but that has side effects. So let's talk about the Infinity Stones, because I saw this with Mikey and he brought it up, and I was just like having a headache moment, but I wanted to bring it up in the video either which way. The Space Stone is a Tesseract, and he's used in the first Avengers movie, of course, and I believe that is the same one in Vision at this point. I'm not quite sure. The Stone of Time, which is in the Eye of Agamotto, which is the relic that Doctor Strange used. Then we have Reality, which was the Aether in Thor the Dark World. Power, which was used by Rowan in Galaxy of the Guardians to destroy worlds. The Mind Gem, that's actually the one in Vision's head, my bad. And that is the one that was in Loki's scepter, but is no longer there. So I'm not quite sure where the Tesseract is. I think that one's actually locked up. And then the Soul Gem we have not seen yet, but most likely we'll probably see it in the Thor movie because of what happened post-credit. But I do have to say, because I don't want to spend tons of time on this, it just feels like it'll be back. I think moving forward, Doctor Strange is going to be the Iron Man character where he's in that leadership role, that ego role. Not as quite, but the thing is, as we move forward, movie to movie to movie, phase to phase, Iron Man's going to come at a point where we're going to see the Logan kind of thing, where it goes, okay, I've done this for like 20 years, I'm done being Iron Man at this point. I just want to basically be in the background. I don't want to be in the action scenes nearly as much. And then we'll see Doctor Strange there and Spider-Man there. We'll see all these new characters there. I think that's something we'll probably see moving forward. Also, got to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer. That shit looks crazy. Just had to bring it up during this. But the ending, how they beat Dormammu, because he's the true villain of the movie, because the 3 areas of his little henchmen pretty much get destroyed. Also, a beheading in a Disney movie. What is this? What is this? I just had to say it. But honestly, the way Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone to fuck with Dormammu, to constantly harass him and basically be, you know what, leave us, never come back. You and I both know Dormammu at some point will come back, probably after Thanos, because I honestly think he's a bigger threat than Thanos, but that's Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, so let the Gauntlet happen first, then Dormammu can be the big villain for Phase 4. Kind of think like what happened with Loki, we didn't get to see him for a while, he's been in the back, and then, of course, he's doing shady shit. Baron Mordo at this point sees what Doctor Strange does, tells him, you basically broke the rules again, what's the point of you even listening to all these rules for Magickin? We see him take the magic from the guy who put Doctor Strange on the pathway, where the guy's now paralyzed again. GG. In 2 post-credit scenes, final warning, the first one, which is the mid-credit scene, shows Thor with Doctor Strange, basically Doctor Strange saying, well, if I help you find your dad, you're going to go back to Asgard. Sure. Okay, cool. So that pretty much confirms we're not only going to see Hulk, but we're going to see Doctor Strange in Thor: The Dark World. I'm hoping. It seems like a really good team-up movie at this point, and I'm really goddamn excited. Also, while we're on the subject of in between the scenes, I forgot to mention the Cloak of Levitation was priceless, and it just really felt like that kind of Groot or BB-8 moment where it's cute and adorable, something for the kids. In the comics, it's typically not that way, but I get why, and I enjoyed it. It was a very minor change. I'm not angry about it. I'm very happy about it because it just felt right. Now, the final post-credit scene, of course, is the Baron Mordo one that I just talked about, him taking the powers back, and Baron Mordo going, well, there needs to be less sorcerers. So now there's sorcerers in the MCU. The multiverse is confirmed, and in the multiverse, there could be a plethora of things, which could also lead to the way of pretty much, if you think, let's make this simple. Because I always talk about DC stuff here and not enough Marvel, which has to change at some point. Which, this could lead to the multiverse of the MCU, where basically you can have 2 Iron Mans or 15 Iron Mans. It's kind of like The Flash, where you have the movie one and you have the TV one. We can see something like that moving forward later down the line if they ever wanted to. Not that they ever need to, but you can explain it through the multiverse. Hey, our Iron Man died. Okay, go into the multiverse and pull a new one out. It works. It's an easy way to pretty much just use established characters that may have gotten killed off. Not saying they'll ever do it. Not saying I want them to do it, but it's something that they can do. Now, if I have to give the movie a score, I'm going to say a 9 out of 10, because I goddamn enjoyed this movie. And even thinking it over for the past 5 hours, I still enjoyed this movie. And I really did not even care about any flaws, if there were any, because at this point, I just really enjoyed the fucking movie. Now finally, why haven't I been on the channel in like 2 to 3 weeks? I was burned out, and I was stressed out, and I just needed a break, and I'm sorry. I don't want anyone thinking just because the channel has not gotten up to 1,000 subs yet, or 700 subs, or whatever. We're past 600. That's an achievement by itself. I wanted to take it in a new direction, try new things, but I was just unsure of where to go, and the plethora of videos that were coming out just really felt half-assed compared to how I wanted to approach these videos and how I wanted to deliver them to you. So hopefully, just hopefully, over the next couple of months, we can have that natural evolution. And I'm sorry if you're a WWE fan and I'm leaving the WWE content out because there's just too much stuff to upload right now. And I think what I need to focus on is just pretty much TV shows and movies, because that's where I excel at my best, in my personal opinion. But I have a Super Shredder review that has to come out probably tomorrow on Tuesday, and I'm terribly sorry about that. But that's only because we have the Dragon Ball Super reviews that are coming back, and then of course, you know how it is. We're going to Supergirl and Gotham. We're going to try to squeeze in that Ninja Turtle review. We're going to make it happen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more. And that like button too, and drop a comment, because it helps in the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you guys later. Till then, peace.